Welcome to Unexplored Mysteries. Life is a tapestry woven from countless moments, some beautiful, some haunting. But every once in a while, a single encounter can unravel everything you thought you knew, dragging your darkest secrets into the light. For me, that moment came unexpectedly in the old basement of my childhood home, a place I had long avoided, haunted by memories I had buried deep within its shadows. The house was a relic of a bygone era, with creaking floorboards and a musty smell that hinted at decades of neglect. After years of living away, I returned to help my parents prepare the home for sale, a decision that stirred both nostalgia and dread. I had fond memories of playing in the backyard, but the basement? Oh, the basement was another story entirely. As a child, I was terrified of its dark corners and the eerie silence that seemed to engulf it. I had avoided going down there ever since the incident, a moment that I had tried to forget. The first night back, as I lay in bed, the memories flooded back. It was during a summer storm when I was just 10 years old. My friends and I had dared each other to explore the basement. We descended the narrow staircase, flashlight beams cutting through the thick darkness, and found ourselves in a world filled with forgotten relics and cobwebs. Amidst the dust and shadows, we stumbled upon an old trunk, locked tight. Our curiosity piqued. We spent hours trying to open it, only to give up in frustration when we heard a strange noise from behind us. That noise, was it just the house settling, or something else? I remember feeling an icy grip of fear as we fled, abandoning the trunk and running up the stairs, the shadows seemingly reaching for us as we escaped. I never went back down, until now. As I prepared to leave the next morning, I made a decision that would change everything. I would confront my fear. Armed with a flashlight and a hammer, I descended into the basement, my heart racing. The air was cool and damp, the smell of mold clinging to the walls. I approached the corner where the trunk had once stood, feeling a mixture of dread and determination. The trunk was still there, just as I had left it, and dust had settled on its surface like a shroud. With trembling hands, I positioned the hammer against the rusty lock and struck. The sound echoed through the silence, a thunderous reverberation that felt like a wake-up call. With a final, forceful blow, the lock shattered and the lid creaked open. I hesitated, feeling the weight of the moment. What secrets lay inside? Peering into the trunk, I was met with a jumble of old clothes, yellowed newspapers, and trinkets from a time long past. But buried beneath it all was something far more sinister, an old leather-bound journal, its pages frayed and yellowed. As I pulled it out, a sense of foreboding washed over me. I flipped it open, revealing pages filled with cramped, hurried handwriting, detailing the life of someone who had once lived in this house. The entries spoke of strange occurrences, whispers in the night, shadows flitting just out of sight, a growing obsession with a presence that seemed to dwell within the walls. The final entry sent chills down my spine. I can feel it watching me. I have to hide the truth. If I don't, it will consume me. Suddenly, the air grew heavy and the temperature dropped. I felt an inexplicable pull, as if the house itself were alive and aware of my presence. The walls seemed to close in, the darkness swirling around me. Panic surged as I realized I was not alone. Something was there, lurking in the shadows, watching, waiting. Without thinking, I closed the trunk and fled up the stairs, heart pounding in my chest. As I reached the top, I heard a whisper, soft but distinct, calling my name. I stumbled, barely managing to catch myself. The basement door slammed shut behind me, and I leaned against the wall, gasping for breath, adrenaline coursing through my veins. That night, sleep eluded me. I lay in bed, the journal resting beside me, its presence heavy with unspoken truths. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had awakened something by uncovering the trunk. The house felt different, as if it were alive with a newfound energy, and I sensed that my discovery was just the beginning. Days passed, and I found myself drawn to the journal, compelled to read more. Each entry revealed a deeper connection between the writer and the presence they feared. It spoke of a tragic event, a death that had occurred in the house, shrouded in mystery and sorrow. The whispers became clearer, the shadows more defined. I began to understand that the writer had been trying to warn me, to guide me toward the truth. With every page I turned, the atmosphere thickened, and I felt the presence growing stronger. It was as if the house was urging me to uncover its secrets. Late one night, consumed by a mix of dread and determination, I returned to the basement. Armed with the journal, I began to read the entries aloud, my voice trembling in the darkness. As I read, the shadows around me shifted, and the air crackled with energy. Suddenly, I felt a rush of wind, and a figure materialized before me, a translucent apparition, its eyes filled with sorrow. I gasped, the realization hitting me like a bolt of lightning. The presence was not malicious, it was trapped, seeking recognition and release. "I am the keeper of the stories buried here," it whispered, its voice echoing through the stillness. "You have the power to set me free." I felt the weight of the moment settle upon me, the enormity of the task ahead. I needed to honor the past, to give voice to the souls that had been silenced. With newfound purpose, I began to research the history of the house, digging through old records and newspapers. Each discovery connected me more deeply to the figures that had once inhabited these walls. I learned of their dreams, their struggles, and the tragedies that had unfolded within the shadows. As I shared these stories with my family and friends, the house seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, its atmosphere shifting from oppressive to comforting. Over time, the whispers faded, and the oppressive presence transformed into a gentle warmth. The house, once a source of fear, became a sanctuary, a place of remembrance. I realized that confronting my fears had not only changed my life, but had also given a voice to those who had been lost to time. Now I stand in the sunlight, looking at the house with gratitude. I have learned that some secrets are meant to be uncovered, that our encounters with the past can reshape our understanding of the present. The basement is no longer a place of dread. It is a testament to the power of remembrance, a reminder that every life leaves behind a story waiting to be told. Join me as we continue to explore the mysteries that linger in the shadows. If you've ever felt a connection to the past or uncovered a hidden truth, don't forget to subscribe to Unexplored Mysteries for more stories that bridge the gap between life and the unknown.